This is the one. Welcome to Oxford Street in London, where all the excitement surrounds that day. No, not Christmas, but rebranding. We're here to discover exactly what impact our rebranding is having on seasonal sales. Also in the one, a day in the life of Rolex and the challenge to keeping customers truly satisfied. But first, brand repositioning. In the build-up to brand repositioning, virtually all of us attended the rebranding workshops. One of the main aims there was to demonstrate that we really are listening to each other. Some of us raised concerns there that the business has to address. So to find out what happened to those concerns, the one went straight to the top. So,
well, I would actually very much agree with the fact that decision-making isn't crystal clear in the organization. Some of the changes that we're putting in place, I think, are trying to address those issues. Examples of that are that we've added a forum at the top level of the organization that we call operating reviews. We have those every month, and we spend an entire day basically looking at the business from top to bottom. We have also recently completed an assessment, European quality assessment, which really gets at the management processes within the business. And the feedback through that was really quite consistent with other feedback from other employee surveys that we've done around the decision-making issues and cross-functional issues. And so we have a list of recommendations from that assessment work. We're in the process of just beginning implementation of some of those, and there will be more to come in the future.
There is a clear-cut organisation structure. The main directorates of the organisation are sales and marketing, customer services, network services, finance and human resources, and there's also an executive area which consists of the legal department and also provides strategy, planning and regulatory support. What we will do in order to make things more clear is produce a number of articles in next year's editions of One to Another, firstly giving an overview of the company and then subsequently perhaps inviting each directorate to produce a more detailed article on the key roles and responsibilities within directorates.
I think there are many examples of cross-functional efforts within one-to-one that actually have been in place for some time. We've certainly had the CSF structures, which are examples of cross-functional forums. But we've had, I think, some really good successes recently in projects like JoinX and Churn, which really accentuate the power of bringing together people on a cross-functional basis. We've also just recently started a fairly comprehensive planning process for our 97-98 annual operating plan, and that is a major cross-functional effort. And the feedback so far, albeit it's a new journey, I think, for many, it's created great forums, opportunities earlier in the process to have dialogue from one department to another.
The new brand positioning talks about the organisation being a listening partnership in order to deliver customer satisfaction to our customer base. We are often accused internally of not sufficiently focusing on the customer, and what we're doing is revisiting our internal values to make sure that we do actually practice what we preach and we are committed to providing a service to the external customer.
The one. Here's something new, how it works.
How it works, and this month we're looking at the digital network. We all know digital is state-of-the-art technology, but how does it work? Well, digital of course comes from the Australian Aboriginal word didja, meaning heavenly music, as in did ya hear the latest Kylie Minogue cobber? To do a didja means to make music, and a maker of music is a didgeridoo, which is where the true science comes in. The digital network is a network of didgeridoos sited on top of towers, flats and office blocks all over the UK. The customer's call comes into the nearest base station where it's converted into digits, short for didgeridoo bits, and is then relayed across the country by a series of didgeridoo players. The didgeridoo was chosen because its deep notes act like whale music, capable of passing through air and water for hundreds of miles. So next time you make a trunk call, think of didgeridoos and remember, that's digital, that's how it works.
It's been over 2 months now since the new marketing campaign hit the streets, and it's going down very well. So well, in fact, that the trade magazine Marketing has given it a rave review, saying it should win every award. The journalist even says who he'd like to have a one-to-one with. It's John Lennon, by the way. Now roll out. Let's see what's happening at the sharp end.
Hello, I'm Ian Gibson. I'm the field supervisor for the North Region, and this is my video diary.
Derek.
Ring who? Ring who?
Ring Derek and just check that he's okay for the call out.
Yeah. And just check it's okay for the call out. I currently manage a team of some 2 riggers and 10 technicians, some of which are trainees. And we'll meet some of those now as we walk around the site. David, tell us how long you've been up here.
Don't do this to me.
Matthew Street, one of the switch technicians who's working on a field terminal. What are you doing, Matt?
Ringing up a site that has been down. Only for about 10 minutes though, of course.
Let's go and talk to Phil Turner, the Regional Ops Manager for Manchester Region. I say Manchester Region. Phil is the Regional Ops Manager for the whole of the north of England. Anything from the M54 across the UK northwards is Phil's responsibility.
I hear you've been made Area Centre Manager. What's that all about then?
Well, it means I've now got to look after all the switch technicians and switch, as well as the field and all the field sites, Phil.
My job is to operate and maintain the network in the North Region. So you've got yourself some increased responsibility there. What's the basis behind the concept of the...
Well, there's efficiencies in me managing all of the personnel in the region and reporting it back to you, Phil.
The challenge facing us for over the next 18 months is that we're going to grow from a region of 100 cell sites and 1 switch site tenfold to a region with 1,000 cell sites and 4 switch sites. And how many cell sites is that then, in terms of network? You know? What have you got to look after?
Quite a few, Phil.
Yeah.
More than 1, but not as many as 1,000.
Oh, right. Well, it's about 250 then?
It'll be about 250.
About 250.
About 250.
I think Gary thinks he's going parachuting. All the tools for all the jobs.
Part of my role as area manager for Warrington involves me going out to visit the technicians on a regular basis. So I've come out to Ivy Mill Chimneys to visit and observe the technicians working. In this instance, we're just here to clear off a crow's nest that's up on the platform, just to make the site safe to work on. We've just arrived at Larch Towers to change the locks of the site. It's one of the new sites handed over from Ericsson's. So we're going to go up on the roof now, and one of the technicians will change the lockout. It only takes a few minutes. But Larch Towers is one of the worst sites in the Liverpool area, which we'd normally call Pinkerton's out for. It's cold up here today. We leave Pinkerton's to look after the vehicles to make sure no one smashes into the vehicles. We've had problems here in the past where just passing individuals smash the windows and grab anything out of the vehicle. Larch Towers. Tell us who you are.
My name's Tony Hanna, network engineer, one of the new breed of switch stroke field techs.
Not only do we look after the maintenance of sites in the region and get ourselves involved with the 80% Rolex project, we also, for our sins, have to refurbish cabins that have been sent up from London from 24% growth.
Yeah, we're actually rebuilding the cabinets that have been stripped so they can go back into the field, even down to the fire extinguishers, which is the last part of this cabinet.
Yeah, okay. James!
Yeah.
Can you stop lurking behind the ladder and just introduce yourself to the camera?
No, not really.
Shall we do our advert for recruitment now?
Yeah, I wouldn't work for anyone else but 1 till 1.
Regional Operations North. Geordies, Jocks, Manx, Scousers, we need you.
Now.
Come work for us now. This is the place to work. This is the place to be.
The One.
How it works, and this time we're looking at the technology of call barring. How does it work? Call barring takes place high in the hills above Abergavenny, where a solitary hermit-like sheep herder plies his trade from an isolated wooden shack that serves as home, office, workshop and international telecommunications centre. All one-to-one calls are routed via this centre. Should a call arrive that's due to be barred, the shepherd springs into action. His first duty is to round up his flock, which he does with 2 dogs and an ample supply of come-bys. The first dog bites one of the sheep gently on the tail to make it bleat. Gradually, the entire circle takes up the bleat, which is known technically as a bar ring. The bars occur at just such a frequency as to block all outgoing signals across the electromagnetic spectrum, and thus the call is barred. So next time you bar a call, think of the sheep high above Abergavenny, and remember, that's call barring, that's how it works.
I'm in Dixon's at the moment with Bob Collymore, who's Group Buyer for Communications. Bob, what do you think of the new one-to-one advertising?
I think it's a very powerful campaign. The whole concept of having a one-to-one is something which people relate to very, very easily.
How have sales been for Dixon's since we've rebranded?
It's been tremendous. You've actually more than doubled your market share year on year in store.
How much do you think the new one-to-one proposition has contributed towards those sales?
I think the proposition is actually the key to the rebranding. You've worked with us in defining what the consumer needs, you've worked with us to define what the channel needs, and you've delivered that very well for us.
Thanks, Bob. Excellent feedback. Talking of excellent feedback, thanks very much for all your emails and your phone calls to The One. In August, The One promised champagne to the first 3 names drawn out of the hat. So, bottles are on their way to David Smith, Customer Relationships Marketing, Karen Keeler from Customer Services in Doxford, and Pat Horsley of Customer Services in Boreham Wood. We still need your comments about the programme too. Ideas for video diaries, volunteer presenters. I promise you that is a lot of fun. And there's nothing wrong with bribery either, so there's plenty of champagne on offer as well. We're also after next month's How It Works. The idea is that How It Works is a bit of fun written by staff for staff, so let your imaginations run riot. Meanwhile, here's someone in search of satisfaction.
Hi, here I am in Boreham Wood, faced with one of the most difficult challenges yet, looking for satisfaction. Customer satisfaction. It's going to be tough, but I've got as many as 3 people to interview, and I've got to travel the entire length of Boreham Wood, and I've only got all day to do it, so come on, guys. I think we need to try a long shot. Excuse me, where can I find satisfaction?
You need Jason Ashford. He's on the 3rd floor, turn left.
Thanks very much. Come on, guys.
Excuse me, guys. You need to sign in.
Hi, Jason. Annette, how do you do? Tell me, Jason, how satisfied are our customers?
Well, our customers are getting more and more satisfied all the time. 13% of our customers actually rate us 10 out of 10, which is absolutely brilliant. But the other side of the coin, we do have a number of dissatisfied customers, so we can't get too complacent.
How important is satisfaction to us?
Well, we know high levels of satisfaction lead to customer loyalty, so we do need to understand customer satisfaction if one-to-one is going to achieve its end-of-year targets. On a more practical level, it is part of the employee bonus, so it's in everybody's interest to understand it.
And how can we tell how satisfied they are?
Well, we interview 200 customers each month by telephone, and we ask them a whole series of questions about all key aspects of one-to-one.
Well, you must have collected a great deal of data. What exactly do you do with it all?
Well, it's a great management tool. We can identify areas of low satisfaction, high satisfaction, and the key areas that we do need to improve. My job is to communicate all the information through the business, drive the improvements. At the end of the day, it's just one of the ways that we have at our disposal to fight churn.
Churn? What's churn?
Well, you better talk to someone really about that.
Right, gotta go. Will do. Bye. Right, it's churn next. We've already used 10 minutes, we've got 7 hours 50 left to do, and we've got 2 whole people to interview. We might just make it. Come on. Does anyone actually know where we're going? Jason, it's Annette. Oh, go away. About churn. Who do I need to talk to? But we've just come from your office. Hi, Julia.
Hello, Annette. Hi.
Tell me, why do customers leave? Quick question.
Okay, well, over the past year we've been trying to find out why customers leave, and we've actually found out that 20% of our customers choose to leave us because they're unhappy with our service. But in fact, around 80% of our customers are actually disconnected by us, mostly because they haven't paid their bills. But that doesn't always mean they're bad. They may not be paying their bills because they're not happy with us.
And what do you do about their departures?
Well, in the summer, we started a cross-functional team called the Churn Forum, which is managed by Anne Allen in finance. We started trying to reduce customers choosing to leave by routing all account closure requests through to the retentions team, and they've been doing a great job by actually saving around 30 to 40% of the customers that wanted to leave. We've also made the customers' joining experience nicer from them, so we set their expectations right from day one. Our main focus at the moment, however, is stopping the number of customers who we have to disconnect. We're doing that by having better screening mechanisms in place at the front end to screen out the customers that have no intention of paying us but also can't afford to pay us. If we do that and we keep the good customers, then that's going to be a big plus for churn all round.
And by screening, you mean?
Telereg. I think you should go over to Elstree Tower and see Telereg.
We're really up against it now. We've got one whole person left to interview and only 7.5 hours left to do it. Plus, we've got to get from Imperial Place to Elstree Tower. Elstree Tower, please, as quick as you can. Well, we've been here a whole hour, and I'm sure the driver doesn't know what's going on. They're not sending another car, and I know we're not going to get there on time. Well, I gave up on the taxi after 2.5 hours, but whatever happens, we really have to get to... Oh, excuse me. 3 buses have passed and refused to let me on. I just don't understand why they won't let me buy a ticket with an American Express. But there are 2 options. One, we could walk, which obviously won't work. Or 2, we could travel with the crew. Come on, guys. OK, we're here, but there's less than half an hour to go. Annette Fitzgerald, I've come to visit Telereg. My pass. Have any of you seen my pass? When I think of Telereg, I always think of... Hi, Helen. Annette, hi. Tell me, what is Telereg?
Telereg was launched on the 1st of October this year. It replaces the old paper registration, which the majority of our customers used to have to go through. It provides a speedy, swift response to the customer. They're credit checked in the store, so they walk away with a phone, and we know that that customer is a valued customer to one-to-one, and that the credit risk will obviously be a lot lower as a result.
So how successful is it for you?
Telereg has been very successful. The feedback from the channel has been excellent. We're handling around 99% of the calls that we're being offered, and the average call duration is taking 4 minutes from start to finish. Obviously, the key there is a high level of customer satisfaction, because the customer's experiencing a very painless and simple process.
Customer satisfaction, that's where we came in. 7 hours, 59 minutes. It's been a fabulous challenge, and we've achieved a great deal in a very short space of time. There are plenty more challenges in the future, but for today, from me, goodbye.
The world.
I'm with Andrew Harrison, Strategy Manager at the Carphone Warehouse. Andrew, what do you think of One-to-One's new identity in advertising?
I think it's the first in a series of giant steps towards One-to-One becoming a mass consumer brand. And as a mass consumer brand, we've seen the product now walk off the shelves.
How have sales been since our repositioning?
Sales have increased by 400%. We've sold more One-to-One phones in the last 6 weeks than we have in the entire of last year.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for December. Keep in touch, be helpful, be rude, but be heard. I'm Paul Foote. This is The One. Merry Christmas.